The summer driving season begins later this month with Memorial Day weekend just 3 weeks away.
And for the last 2 nights, News 18 has explored some of the results of our 7-month-long investigation of gas prices in Lafayette and all of the surrounding viewing area. We've already revealed the identities of the cheapest stations and analyzed why the Lafayette area is by far the most volatile city in the region.
Tonight in our final part, News 18's Dan Klein looks to divulge the top tips from those in the industry to save you money, debunk a few myths, and look ahead to price forecasts for the summer.
It's a puzzle we all wish we could solve, the one at the pump. But it's not easy. 21 price hikes over 7 months of data make an average of 10 days between big jumps. But it can happen in as little as 5 days or as long as 3 weeks. According to GasBuddy.com, Thursday was the most common day for a large increase with 6 of 21 spikes, but Saturday saw 5 jumps. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all saw 3 to 4 jumps. Friday and Sunday didn't see any.
But I can tell you, everybody I talk to about gas prices tells me that you never buy gas on Friday because that's when it's the most expensive.
I don't think there's really any rhyme or reason to it, maybe, other than maybe they're just getting ready for the busy days of Friday, Saturday, because those are certainly our highest volume days.
But among those who have studied it or are paid to know, our results may just be a fluke.
The only thing common about when those jumps occurred was arising out of a below-cost situation.
As you continue to track it for a longer and longer period of time, you start to see a lot more ubiquity between those days.
Another myth, most of our gas comes from the Middle East. In fact, domestic crude supplies about 60% of the oil the U.S. needs. And our largest source for importing oil is Canada, meaning while world events and global changes in supply and demand can affect gas prices, often the reason for gas price increases is a lot closer to home.
Regional supply and demand are pretty much on a razor's edge. So if something happens that sends either side out of kilter, that's going to have a really big impact on the market.
Over the 7 months we track prices, the cost of crude oil on 2 major indices has stayed relatively steady, even as gas prices have increased this spring, especially as refineries go down for scheduled maintenance to switch from winter fuel blends to the summer blend. The difference is in the vapor pressure, so that more gas does not evaporate while drivers are at the pump in warmer temperatures. Wally Tyner follows a different commodity much closer, RBOB, an acronym for a publicly traded pure gas product that's ready to blend with ethanol to turn into fuel. RBOB prices this week have hovered around $3.05 a gallon. To estimate the pump price, during the winter add 70 cents, during the summer add 75.
If the local prices are considerably below that, I fill up. If they're at that or above, I wait.
The Attorney General's office also publishes similar data of various component prices on its website. When the pink line of the average price of regular gas is at or below the green line that's the wholesale price plus taxes, a jump is probably imminent.
Consumers' best action is to know their local market and basically reward those who are going to price the lowest.
Even if that lowest price is not the station you usually use, or even a brand name.
The gasoline's all the same. There can be some difference in the additives, but I haven't seen any studies that would suggest that additive X is really, really good and you ought to be willing to pay 3 pennies more for it. There's just no hard data on that.
There are plenty of other tips you can follow to save. Keep your tires properly inflated, combine multiple errands into one trip, only use the octane that's required in your owner's manual.
There's not a real good reason to go to a higher octane.
You're going to kind of hit a high point on your fuel efficiency between 55 miles per hour and 60 miles per hour.
What does the summer of 2014 hold? The U.S. government's latest estimate calls for an average price of $3.44 until the end of the year and $3.36 next year, in part helped by declining fuel consumption. Tyner won't release his summer forecast for another couple weeks, but thinks the feds may be a little low.
If we have a normal season of outages or lack of outages, I do think prices will be lower than they were last summer.
Which is good news for drivers, but as always in this industry, it's subject to change. Meaning that when it comes to solving the pump puzzle, it's more like an educated guess.
I wish I had the tip, because then I'd follow it too, but there really isn't.
RBOB's prices closed today at $2.93, so using Wally Tyner's 70-cent method, gas is expected to be about $3.63. So with Lafayette's prices in the 350s, they may fall a little bit more, but now may be a good time to buy. Right now on WLFI.com, we have more information, including 7 common myths about gas prices. Plus, we have the response from several gas station owners when we ask them why this industry seems to be so secretive. Dan Klein, News 18.